Let's see here. Reduce that volume for me personally. There we go. And I see the captions are working. Excellent. Almost. Almost. There we are. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. It's me, Sergeant Killer Snow with Snow Studio Games, and today we are going to be continuing our development of our combat design project, Night Terrors. And last we left off on stream, I was struggling through trying to get the character controller to behave the way I wanted it to. We also got a little sidetracked and went on to make 2 more enemies because we needed them for class. But I accidentally picked the wrong archetype of an enemy. I made a little exploder enemy when I was supposed to make a big heavy enemy. So I'll need to go ahead and make a heavy. And I also found the original sprites I had intended to use with the project, so I'm going to probably have to do some sprite swaps for attacks and stuff. So we're just going to kind of rebuild things for the project. I will swap over to the live scene as soon as the project is open. I just finished copying all of my sorry about that. Updated files over, the ones that I was working on the school property. Let me think about what I possibly got done. Oh, I made working health bars for the enemies. I don't think I've tied one to the player yet, because I want that one to be UI based. And what more? Yeah, no, I think that was it. I was also troubleshooting the arrow that I was trying to fire from my ranged enemy. I am probably not going to put too much movement, like thought into movement for my ranged enemy. I'll probably try and perch them up in places where the player will either have to do jump attacks to hit them or use a ranged attack. I will need to try and get a good heavy enemy working. There's like 2 guys in the class that have really nice and smooth enemies working on their projects. One already looks like polished and complete. I'm scared to see what it will look like next week. There we go. Project's open. We can scoot on over. Let me make sure that the correct things are toggled. There you go. My water feels a little light, but we'll deal with it. Okay. So the issue that I had discovered with my current setup with my controller, and the reason why it's not working the way I want it to, is that flipbooks have their own play rate. They have a play rate, and they have their own frame rate. Now, our game has a frame rate that will probably be determined by the user's device, but anything we plug into event tick will be called every frame. Now, therein lies an issue when trying to differentiate between calling the frame at the time that the project is like universally set to call a frame, or when that flipbook is supposed to call a frame. And what's happened is it's caused skipping in the acknowledgement, I guess one could say, of hitting those various points in the frames of the flipbook. So as a result, if it's not hitting those specific frame numbers, it's not hitting the code that I have to set to trigger when it hits that specific frame number. And the hardest thing about that is that if I try and force it to go back to the correct frame, which I did try, it slows the entire action sequence down significantly, and it also breaks the rest of the controller because it just doesn't know what to do. Things are all thrown off, essentially. All the timing just goes out the window because it's trying to like sync things up and it's not working. So I have pulled up to the side a little. I gotta close that. That's not supposed to be there. Oh. I pulled up off to the side a little bit of documentation for the flipbooks. It's just some Unreal developer documents. So I'm trying to see what I might be able to find that can help, potentially. Not using those experimental controls no more, though. Okay, maybe. No. Maybe. Let's open up the experimental controls. Why not? Also, please let me know if I need to speak up at all. I may not have my old microphone plugged into a DAC that I can work with, but I can definitely, at the very least, try and speak up and, you know, move things in the right location, turn off some fans. I got a lot of white noise around here that's probably getting filtered. But anyway, let's take a look-see at... Man, it looked so clean, too. This is the one that was, I think this is the one that was forcing... Yes, the arbiter of frames right here would go ahead and effectively analyze each playback frame that we were going into, check if it was exactly one frame after the previous frame that just played for it, and if it wasn't, force it to be that frame. And in doing so, it just did not work for anything anymore. It would play that one thing out, and I could check by code and saw that it went through every line, and I was like, perfect, now let's see how it actually is in full swing, full motion. And it started out the attack at like super high speed, and then it went back and started it over and went much slower through, and then I was stuck in various different states of attack that it just did not comprehend what to do anymore. I was like, oh, cool. Nice. You ever try and micromanage a computer so much that it goes cross-eyed? That's what I did. So instead of using les arbiters aux frames, let's see what else I can do. We had player flipbook. Get. Wait, let me try key. I type key, get number of keys. Nope. Really? Am I not looking at the correct info? Let's see. Paper flipbook. Yeah, paper flipbook component. It's an Unreal object, correct. Frames per second, blah, 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 blah. Get number of frames, get number of keyframes. Those should be things. Ah. Animation data model, and I'm not sure if this uses that interface, does it? Define property flags. You know what? Let's go into the class settings and see what might be inherited. The nav agent is inherited. This is in the player though, right? Oh, this is in the player controller, not the player itself. Let me go into the player that we will control and check out the class settings, see what's inherited. Nav agent, we added the BPI for damageable. And I'm not seeing one for, well, hang on. Let me click on this. What might this be hiding? It might not be housing anything that I can use. But never hurts to check, right? Smooth edges, right, that was for making sure it doesn't drop. I feel like this documentation may not be being completely honest with me. Turns the number of keyframes. Get num keyframes is definitely supposed to be different than get num keys. I feel. Yeah, that's looking for animation data keys. Get number of frames is still doing the animation data model stuff. We're going to go ahead and do a two-string integer thing there, and I am going to add this to... I'm actually going to test this in my regular controller and see if it works to print out the amount of keyframes in, let's say, our idle animation. Where is the debug string? Nice. So that's if we're dead. So what if indeed I added this here, right before that? Say frames in current flipbook. And then plug this in. I don't need this part. Alright, let's see what happens. Yeah, see, that's what I thought. It's going to return 0 because we're not using whatever that interface is that it's looking for. Definite no. Okay. So, let's get this out of our good controller. Thank you for your time. Change this back to... Come on now. Did? Question mark? Yeah. Probably put a space there. There is a space there. How fortuitous. Must have already been there. I'm so smart. Sometimes. And yet, I go around making broken controllers. I was in the experimental controls here. I just realized I don't remember exactly where I yanked that frame rate thing from. Not sure which of these it was in. Maybe it was just laying around. We can hope. Oh, I must have copied it from this. I think that looks kind of similar. Yeah, maybe. Alright. So with that in mind, still not having a great time trying to figure out what I can possibly do about the situation. So ultimately, I gotta figure out how to change either the structure of how my attack system is working, or change how it checks which frame is what. Which is all going to be kind of rough. Yeah, I'm not thinking that I'm going to have a good time of trying to figure out the conversion. So let me make another sweeping attempt here at something. So damage window I want to keep. Ground trace animation controls I want to keep. Movement keep. Initializing the events. The events are working, so I kind of want to keep those. Heavy attack working, or it was. I didn't change this up much, which was how the attacks were working before. Hit chain triggered. And attack 1 that was technically supposed to go ahead and be like, Yeah, chain's triggered, so we can set the stage to chaining and then call the attack chain. And then get out of here. But no, it doesn't do that. Let's see, chain attack. Chain attack called. It's supposed to switch the attack type up. Reset the last frame called for that other contingency that we had. And then do it all again, and it did not want to work. So what to do? Give me a moment. Key value pairs. Oh, okay. Well. Oh. Hang on. Not that. That's player mappable input stuff. Trying to see if I can. Aha. Aha. And the target would be a blueprint map library. But if I don't have one. Oh my, yes. Okay. So, maps are, to my current understanding, maps are the C++ slash Unreal Engine blueprint specific alternative to Unity's dictionaries. And Unity dictionaries are basically the same as like an array or a list, only it lets you store two different things. It'll let you store whatever variable value you're trying to store, but it'll also let you set a key for that. So you can find that specific value in your array without having to be like, damn, which number in the index was that one again? Can I? No, you can just go ahead and search by key. So if that's the case, bring. Let me. Make string command. Nope, not the right one. Append. Remove that. String append. There we go. That's what we want. Because now we can add that as the key, essentially. By just setting that, we've told the map that the key is going to be a string. We're going to name it. And then for the value, just a moment, please. Yeah, that's an unfortunate fact. Oh, I'd like to say I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. But I'm both angry and disappointed. This country is going to be up in flames. It's unfortunate. But they'll be happy that they think that they're getting cheaper groceries. So, for this map, I'm trying to theorize. Wonder what... Right, the value thing that I was going to be using. Let me do a make string instead. Damn. Never mind. Yeah, it only lets me do the make string command. I guess append is going to be the best thing I got. So... attack 1 underscore... Damn. What value am I trying to set here? Chain window distance. Or, no, chain time. So the attack 1 chain time is going to be equivalent to what was it? Frame 1. We wanted the chain start to start at frame 2 and end at frame 4, so that's a 2-frame thing. Chain window. Open. We'll do a chain, window close. With underscores separating the open, the close, and the attack number. The value is what I am trying to get my head into for some reason. I don't know why I'm like blanking. My bad. Int. Get integer, set integer. Let's see. Just need an integer. Make a literal int. Wonderful. And this will be 2. That's when it opened, and we double that. 4 for the close. Go ahead, add another one. Boom. So, theoretically, I can just reference this map and then type out that I need to, say, get attack 1 underscore, key, map keys, output an array of all keys present in the map, get keys from a string table. Ooh. There's, oh wait, context. There we go. We can see everything that we can do here now. There we go. Map, add, clear, contains. We can do a find. And then we type in the name of what we're looking for. Ah. Also outputs if it's been found or not. Interesting. Oh, I'm getting some interesting ideas for how to use maps. Now that I know that there's also a find notion that adds and looks for, you know, whether something was in the map or not. I see possibilities for things. Now, my issue is I also am not certain where I am supposed to be, not where, if I'm actually doing this the way that my brain initially intended when it was thinking of maps and dictionaries, but I just wanted to take a look at the maps and see how they worked. Today's my first day back on my meds, so my brain is still a little rubbery. And on the note and imagery of a rubbery brain, I'll be right back. Running to the bathroom and refilling my various things that I need refilled. Okay, alright, I'm back. I'm back. I thought I was back. Oh? This is pertinent to game development. Massive changes to Unreal giveaways. I will have to watch later. And check that voice. Oh my god, I really need to learn to check these voicemails before I get on stream. Okay. So we were working on or looking into this map thing, similar to a, I'm gonna put a little note there myself. I'm gonna put that in a little comment box. Hello. Why you no wanna? No comment. No comment. Okay. No, it's fine. Might be because of this, so I think I'll just pin. Yeah, prevents bubble from allow the bubble to scale with zip. Yeah, there we go. Now I know where to find that. So I'm trying to potentially think up a third alternative way to make an attack matrix. Thus far, I'm not even sure I would count on this. So I'm going to come to this isolated little corner here. A lot of the baseline stuff that's already there, I like. So I'm going to continue liking it or keeping it around to look at it and remind me what worked and what didn't and why. And now we're going to try again. Okay. So, when we look at Prep Attack 1, let me pop that out of there. Oh, cool, I can hear police sirens. I want to make sure that the city's not on fire for a quick sec. Thank God for tiny miracles, they haven't burned the city down. Hope everyone got a chance to vote today. If you haven't, there should still be time. Make it count. Please. Alright, so when we look here, we see, let's see, int range. Ooh. 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 I wonder. Okay. So, in theory, in my little theory, this get playback position in frames setting it to be once per frame on a timer is not the best choice because, as I had explained earlier, event tick and the frame rate of the flipbook animation is going to be different. There's going to be a conflict there. But I can probably check based on our event tick, constantly check these for a gate, so to speak. So we want to get the damage start frame, damage end frame. Let's do this for the chain start and end frame, actually. Start frame, end frame. We want to make sure that we leave inclusive min and inclusive max. I'm going to grab this, cut that out. Bring it out to the event graph. So let's say attack. All right, let's just say attack, right? We're not going to plug that in because we do actively have attack already over here. The system does let you put multiple versions of it out, so that way you can possibly have several different things happening when it happens, but I don't want to have two separate calls to it. I'm just leaving this here as a reference point. So from here, I would potentially do a branch. First checking if we're already attacking. If we are, we're going to want to check our attack type. Make sure that it is equal to part 1 or part 2. Copy that down, plug that in to get that to pop up and say part 2. Make sure we plug that in there. I think in this project, what I can take away the absolute most is how many different times I can rewrite combat. Alright. So we're going to check if we're in either of those states, if we're already attacking, and if we aren't, then we should not do anything here, because we need to wait to be done with those attacks. If they're not part 1 or part 2. If they are part 1 or part 2, go into another check, of course, and we'll see if we are at let's see, equal enum. We're going to check to see if we are in the chain window. think here a little bit. So, if we're not attacking, we want this to just automatically jump to prep attack. That's just something that should happen. Also, we don't want this on triggered, we'd want it on started. But I digress on that one. I don't need that, so go to prep attack, it would do the awesome thing, and then we would have to probably have something in our event tick that would constantly check for a particular gate. Let me see what their gate structure is like. Okay, we can plug in the conditions for the open and close and toggle. No way to output if it would have just been closed. Like there's an exit that would, you know, go out once it's open, but it won't do that until open is met, and there's no way for me to check the state of the gate. Let's see what else we can find in flow control. Uncheck context sensitive since it wants to hide stuff from me. Or am I blind? I might be blind. Alright, what are you hidden under? Ah, utilities, of course. So now I can just go down to utilities and find that, right? Yes. Utilities. Flow control. What can we use? We need something that can... essentially kind of block something off, but also give us feedback on that. Do I really don't want to have to make something for it. What does multi-gate look like? Aha! Interesting. So it's basically just a gate, but sequence. Okay. Don't want it. Not gonna want this either. Have to come up with something here. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put a comment right here on the side so that way the intent is known. Let's go ahead and change that comment color because they like to give us white on white for some reason, as if eye strain isn't a thing. Yep. There we go. Now a little bit of the intent should be known for anyone that just kind of drops in case I don't notice. And because I'm a little bit of a stickler. Alright. Not sure if wanting to use a gate. Roger. So, how then would I... Let's see. I thought I had a, nope. Okay. Technically, I want this while true to just go ahead and set our thing into the chain window. I'm going to stop overcomplicating. I'm just going to use a branch right now and say true set attack type stage. Set current attack stage. There you go. Look at that. Chain window. So while that's true, we're in chain window, we'll be fine. Get rid of the gate for right now. False. We'll have to check if it's less than that value or greater than that value. Chain start. Where's my chain start? It's probably down here because I have so many things here. Chain start. I don't know why I didn't just copy and paste. And then playback position in frames less than chain start frame. Then that should be fine. I'm gonna leave it as nothing because it should already be preset from earlier in code, being wind up window and then going up into the attack window. So next one is going to be the branch that checks for greater, or rather for the end frame. If greater than the end frame, then we want to say that the chain window was missed. And we are now going to set this to conclude. Turn should end attack chain. So then that would take us down here to the end attack chain, which would set our attack type and attack stage to not attacking. Reset our combo numbers. Make sure to set us as not interruptible because we're not doing anything that would be interrupted. Oh boy. Oh yeah. I now know what the contents of the voice message is, I think. Oh man. I am also not feeling the best. Give me a second to respond to this, please. We'll just go to the chatting scene. Let's see. So, not best. Did. Why? Okay, there we go. Perfect. I now know how to text. Such an old man. Next. Alright. we're going over this. This already goes over if we're checking if we're grounded, blah, blah, blah. We don't have to worry about that. Okay. Yeah, I can hear my friend's voice echoing in my head, saying the exact thing that I thought that they would be saying. Current attack type 1. Taking care of the combo numbers. Okay. And then over here is where we're doing the funky stuff, which is where we're checking, hopefully in event tick, going to be checking where we're at. Playback position and frames for the attack, of course. I think I may have figured out the branch. If current attack stage... Oh, no, better yet, if current attack type is not equal to not attacking, that obviously means that we are in the process of attacking. That's one of the first checks. So that plugged into event tick, this wouldn't run at all until we're already technically starting our attack. And when we use prep attack 1, we change our attack type right there as one of the first things we do, and then we start the animation before we jump to anything else here. So, in theory... Oh, the reason that I use this here, I set a whole separate different animation and called it anim to play, or rather an animation variable for the paper flipbook. Called it anim to play, and I use that to get the specific animations and use that for the calculation of their frame time. Because sometimes it wouldn't, the flipbook wouldn't get changed over properly, so then this wasn't setting to the correct things, and it was throwing everything off all around. This is still a part of the code that functions with my currently live controller, so I am currently not having a use for frame time, thankfully. At least in this little experiment that I'm running. But I haven't even plugged anything in yet, so we'll see. This right here would unlock the rest of this capability. What more? What more? Inclusive min and max, yes. When we're in that range, we will be able to be in the chain window and attacking while we are in the chain window. Right. Attack stage chain window. We'll check switch attack type. We'll look at the current attack type. And we will delegate from there and say if it's on attack part 1, then we need to go ahead and start up the prep attack 2. On prep attack 2, just jump to prep attack 3. Now those are the only things that we allow through the chain window. So once we prep those, What else? That means that we'll go to this, and it'll start doing this, checking the playback position. This part right here is the simplest part of it, in my opinion. Okay, so if we're not attacking, and this is being checked on tick, then we want to make sure which attack state we're in. Scroll down to these enums. Okay. No, not set. Bam. Switch attack type. Yes. Let's kind of scoot this down here a little bit, just so that way I can do that. And let's take a look. Oh yeah, we're not encroaching on the territory of anything over here. I don't need to be so zoomed in. Let's get that out there. And get that out there. That's how much space I allotted to those other ones, approximately. I may as well give this one that much opportunity. Okay. So if we're not attacking, that's not going to be a thing at all. And I kind of want these to be a little more crunched down and consolidated to the rest of this. Yeah, that'll do. What about you? Can you get any closer in there? Yeah, you know what? I think you can. I think you can. Wonderful. So, with this now slightly compressed version, and by compressed I just mean I boxed it all in. So, part 1. Boom. If we're in attack part 1, it'll check to see if we're in range of the chain window, then it'll set us to actively in that chain window. And then if we're not there, essentially before we ever get to that window, because it's going to be checking as soon as we're not attacking, we can go ahead and say not to do anything if it's less than the chain start frame, because I'll just tell it separately. Oh, separately here is where I should probably consider that. So, we do a do once. And we'll reset it beforehand, and we'll also say that afterwards, if we've gone and hit the conclude, we can sequence it. So we'll reset that first, and then we'll conclude the attack. So the do once is kind of essentially what I want to do with the damage phase. I don't need the damage end window. As much as I need the start frame for this. So let me grab the damage start frame. Let's see, while that's true, it would take us to the chain window. This can happen on a sequence as well, I think. Just to clean it up just a tad bit. Let's see, sequence here to go ahead and get there. I can't really sequence out the rest of that because it's kind of all branching off one another, but I can sequence the next check. Which is going to say in range integer. Oh, no, wait, not in range integer, actually. We'll just say branch. We will get the playback position and frames over here as well, though. Say oh. Hang on. Jesus. Okay. If we put this on a do once, it should be fine. So we're going to say greater than or equal to. So if the playback position in frames is greater than or equal to the damage start frame, then do once. Pop that on there. I don't mind dragging that part out a bit because it's just going to wind up basically getting concluded over here somewhere. Similarly to this. Like this. Ta-da! That's if it does go that far. I need to set what happens when we correctly hit chain window and do another attack input to actually chain the attack. Big sad. Alright. This do once is supposed to be the damage window. I'm gonna go ahead and do a false check and check if the damage end frame was reached. Actually, damage window automatically cleans that up because I have it used here, right? Frame time? Oh, I used frame time. But what if... Well, technically, yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, I get it. I'll just leave it as is. That has been working, my damage window, so I'll leave the damage window as is. There I am. So that takes care of the timing for destroying the damage field, but it still doesn't take care of resetting this properly in the event of anything else. what's the check that I'm trying to do here? If we're not greater than or equal to the damage start frame, do nothing. No, we need to see where exactly this is, if it's at less than the start frame. If you are at less than the start frame for this, then what do I want to make you suffer with? You should still be in the wind-up window. But I don't need to set that. That's automatically set with my prep attack functions. No need for the extra redundancy. If it's true, we do nothing. If it's false, we need to check if it's greater. Which is essentially what we already did there. But we're not checking if it's greater than the damage start frame. We're checking if it is greater than or equal to the last frame. Boop. This is just for the reset over here. Because we don't want it to ever freeze up when it's supposed to generate a damage field, but we also don't want it to generate the damage field constantly every frame. That's the whole reason I did this whole jumble right here. And that was just for attack 1. Basically copy the same thing and do it for attack 2. Actually, technically, I don't have to change anything else. I technically can use this for part 2. Can't use it for part 3 though. I gotta redo part 3. Or add an extra section onto it for part 3. Because there is no chain window for part 3. So we can ditch this. We'll plug that in just so that way I can find my way back to that switch, but let's see. Let me just trim that. Not going to be needed. Alright, so this is checking the chain start frames and everything. We can ditch those. This part, however, should not be ditched. Let's go ahead and just kind of redirect the stuff over. Position that there. Take these over here. I can leave them there since it's part of the sequencing. Or move it up. Yeah, I'll move it up. We can ditch these. I pretty much know when I'm going to do the conclude attack. stuff like that. Alright, we do have the do once damage window. Let me take a look at the damn near headache inducing, isn't it? There's part 3. That's the wind-up window. That's playing the sounds. I forgot about the sounds. But if I'm using my prep attacks, then it has the sounds built into that. Should be fine. Right. We didn't use the regular damage field thing. We used this. Get rid of that. And cooler. Okay. That ought to work. Yeah. Wait, did this happen? Where's this sequence coming from? Oh, that's frame 10. That's the last of the Mohicans. No. That was incorrect. That's the last of the... No, that's just taking care of the resets. Then where are you being called at? 5? Frame 5. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 frames after the initial one, so we can just do... like, wait 4 frames. Frame time x4. Let me paste this monstrosity here for a second. Was this the wrong one? I pasted the wrong monstrosity. I was supposed to copy this monstrosity. Yes. Wait a minute. That's the heavy attack. This is the one. Don't need the play sound. This should be good. Bring it down. Paste it somewhere proximal to the already spaghetti tangle that we've got going on here. And start working with more spaghetti code. Sequence. Oh yeah, that first check is for if we hit that point, and then we hit a do once, which is, yeah, this. Oh, we get rid of that sequence. Let me move this a little closer here so I can kind of make better sense of this. The goal is to try and have the chain attack logic just kind of rolling on event tick this time, instead of me trying to do it through a separate function, through any kind of thing that's calculating out or delegating per frame what it should be doing, considering I'm having so many issues finding the proper balance between the project's like overall frame rate on event tick and the sprite frame rate. So now I'm just kind of telling it, hey, if you hit this frame, do this once, and once we get to a certain point, reset it. It'll work, I hope. And if it doesn't, that's why we're in an experimental controller. I basically duplicated a version of my functional controller, the one that actually works until the enemies hit me at the right time and throw everything out of whack. So we have this here, and set that onto the do once, and this was checking if we are beyond the damage start frame, yeah. Or rather, if that's less than the start frame, do nothing. Once we are actually beyond that, Actually, that's greater than or equal to the flipbook length in frames. Cool. So that's the, like, end of that. That means over here is where I can put the end attack chain. Conclude. Oh, right. Set, or rather, current attack stage or type. Stage, conclude attack. Chain attack goes on up to reset the do ones over here. We wanted it to do this. And what more? My phone is blown up. I'm going to be getting live updates. So we have that. I think I'm also just going to set a little delay here. Equal to frame time times 4. Just gonna bring this out here, put that there, put this there, have the frame time chilling between them. After this delay, it's going to do the second part. And both of them are going to need a reset dictated through here. There's one. Oh, you need a sequence to tell you to do 2 things at once. That's right. I forgot it. There's the first one. There's the second one. You need any other special treatment? You good? Good. So we have it currently, so that way it's at playback position in frames. If it's at the end of its animation or beyond for some reason, then it should go ahead and jump on over to the conclude and the ending of the attack chain. And that's something that we have running in the first and second one automatically as well. We've just had to modify the third one here because of the fact that it is the end of the chain attack and it's a 2-piece attack in that sense. Trying to see if there were any other do-onces that I needed to toss in here, but it looks like I may have taken care of it with those. Before I even bother to set up the special attack, I know for a fact I need to test this. I have no idea if this is going to function at all. I have not tested it one bit. No sir, not one bit. Tiniest little bit. Nowhere close. So I haven't really looked at that. Actually increasing the combo number, because I'm thinking of just going via, you know, using my enum values, essentially the same thing. This was all supposed to be like plot off of the... Right. So we're going to do started there. And I'm going to disconnect it from over here. Oh, what did we use the complete for? Oh, to reset that. Neat. That was smart. We're going to disconnect it. I hope I remember how to do that. That's fine. I can just look at my other two versions. So we have the damage window. That'll be fine. Input movement. Nothing else should freak out upon losing that. We're not using the call attack types that we created here, even though I really wanted to. It's just part of the other system's attempt. So, in theory, we hit started on this. If we're attacking, and that's already true, then we start checking to see if we are either in attack part 1 or part 2. If we are, then it checks if we're in the chain window. And if we're in the chain window, then it will allow us to jump to the next ones, so to speak, by triggering their prep. I think I need to modify this just a little bit. I basically want to make sure that the animation has ended. Playback position in frames. Damage end frame. Right, that's what that was for. Get damage end frame. We want to make sure that we have at least reached that point. Of the animation before choosing to proceed forward. When it's false, then we reset this and wait for it to be true again. We only needed to kind of toggle, essentially, a quick, hey Abman, welcome. It's basically just telling it when it can safely start up the prep attack 2. So in theory, this should also work on the same exact style of branch setup here. There we go. There's that, and plug that in there. Literally the same setup. So in theory, what that should do is tell this that it need not move up to the next part of the attack if we haven't gotten through to the part where we're done dealing damage, which would already be past the chain window and everything. We just need to check if our chain window is actually, you know, there. which it should be, because you see, dude, if you hit the input, checking down here, this is what we're plugging into event tick essentially. And I don't think I have a delay on anything here except part 3. Part 3 has a delay. Dang. It's okay. Where is my... I don't have a sequence for that, so I'm just going to create a sequence right here on the event tick. Sequence. Slide that up there. Yeah, get nice and cozy. So the animation control is literally only really looking for... Oh dang, what am I doing with all that? Be gone. Looking to see if we're not, if we're attacking, or rather, if our current attack type is not attacking, which means we're not attacking. It checks also if we're not hit, and then it goes ahead and sets our flipbook animation and also makes sure that it's set to looping if we're not, you know, in an attack animation or a hit animation. Choose an animation is a part of actually pretty much that. So which one were we using? Curious. Ground trace, animation control. We were using the second one then. That's odd. Where would we have ever called the other one then? Oh, okay, that's what it is. No, we still need this. The animation control is based off of certain things. Yeah, the animation state. It comes from choosing animation, and then we go ahead and set that there based on if combat, essentially. I'm procrastinating, essentially, the actual test. Annoy this. We disconnected that, so it shouldn't bother calling the attack matrix at all. But just in case, I'm going to disconnect that too. And now I'm going to go ahead and pull off from that sequence here. Can I grab it? No, I need to zoom in more. Damn. Get over, get down, over more. Yeah, I'm not going to reorganize everything for this. I'm just going to plug that right in there. Okay. This now officially feels a little too gaudy. So I'm going to copy and paste its own versions of the player controls flipbook over here. And I'm going to scoot this over. Oh yeah, that's a bunch of code. Script, technically. Bring this down. Bring it all down. Oh, that was wrong. So I know that that huge thing just dragging off is definitely just a test thing attached to my event tick. And it's going to do all my other functions first before anything. And then it's going to do this. I am going to clean up that pipeline though. Right around there. And I'm going to have it do a switch up right around here. There we go. A little bit more visibly manageable, in my opinion. And that's the one that matters, since I'm the one that has to look at this for so long. Okay. So on part 1 or part 2, it'll go ahead and do all those checks, yada yada yada. Alright, great. Let's see what happens when we swap over in our world settings to the experimental control and give it a shot. Ha! My sprite does not turn around, but it knows when it's in the run or not run. It doesn't know that it's not supposed to be in the damage window right now. Oh, I heard the combo go off, but it now still thinks I'm in attacking. Yeah, that's still all sorts of broken. Unfortunate. Chuck it out the window. At this point, I've applied too many different things to this experimental controller. I'm probably going to have to remake it. Just going to grab that specifically, and then we're going to X out of the experimental controls. And I'm going to delete the experimental controls. And then for this, you should be fine. We're going to duplicate this again. And this is going to be experiment control V2. Now as a copy of my nice and clean or cleaner original, just gonna drag those and drop them in there. So that was what the attack was, and I plugged the rest of this into event tick to see what would happen essentially. So let's take a look at that, shall we? The attack stages manager was looked at through here. So this was also being checked on tick. Let's sequence. Drop that there and drop the top one. Come on. And drop that there. Probably gonna have the same error happen. But we'll see. Oh, that's a special attack. We're gonna leave that alone. Disconnect these. Save. Attach that to the, well, dock it to the main thing here. And now experiment controller V2. Oh no, I can't move. I was so smug. No, why would you do this to me? We were having such fun. It was working. Okay. I need my debug string. Okay. Why wasn't my debug string on, for that matter? On possessed, debug string. Yeah, you should have been going. Oh, right. Because I did the thing. I should probably plug that in on my main controller too. Since this is a duplicate of that. That means that this is also, yep, there it is. Plug that right back in. So the reason that was not plugged in is because I tried to test out one of the functions to see if it would report back how many total keyframes were in the flipbook I was using. Function didn't work. It was for a more advanced, I guess, type of animation model. Even though it showed up contextually as something that I could use. Sorry, my neck is not feeling the best. I've been fighting a very, very potent headache all day. And it's not even, like, politics related. The politics going on right now is just making everything worse. But my head has been killing me all day. It just knew that today was going to be a rough one. So we are in fact using the experimental control, so something was working on it. Now that we have that plugged back in, let's take another look-see. Yeah, I think it's still doing the thing where it's possibly skipping frames of other things. So even though I told it, like, yeah, when you get to this part, do this, it's not quite understanding it. So I need to fix how... God, how do I fix... I just gotta make the interrupt from the enemy much, much cleaner, I think. I think that's gonna be my only safe bet. Yeah, forced delete. Be gone. Save that. Control-Shift-S to save all. Cool. So currently, you can see our zombie enemies roaming around in the further back lanes. There's this guy right here. You can see their health values. They need to stop sooner and not turn anymore. Away. The push still works. It does some work. Oh, hey! He spit an arrow. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. That's great. I love that. I was facing... I approached him from the other side before. Okay, so there we go. Now we're stuck. So, the printout on the top left is telling me that it thinks we're in our wind-up window for our attack part 3, even though we are well past the wind-up window. I heard the attack animation and everything go off. It also thinks we're running, which isn't possible when we're attacking. Particularly, it shouldn't be possible in the attack chain. And is attacking is true, so whenever that's true, we should not be able to run. That shouldn't be possible at all. Savvy? Savvy. Shite. I can't seem to help myself but think that the only good solution is to kind of rework the controller in a way that doesn't have too much convolution. Because the same way I got rid of that old experimental controller and we were just working in experimental controller V2, I've been working in this other controller for a bit. Sorry. Blueprint. Blueprint function library. They cannot contain variables, inherit from other blueprints, or be placed in levels. Interesting. Change the functions in blueprint function library will take effect without recompiling the client blueprints. Muy interesante. Pero no lo necesito así. Pero así. Sure. Blueprint class, player controller. Why not? Simplified controller. Hope. Let me see what I have in my current main controller that is able to be copied safely without needing too much disentanglement. Paste. Copy. And paste. Copy. Pasta. We are going to need this, technically. I'll work on the other stuff. I'll work on the other stuff here without worrying about those. I need my ground trace, so I should be able to just copy that, right? And then I'll go ahead and make the functions for grounded. It should be fine. I copy this, bring it over here, paste the function, go to grounded, create variable grounded. That's good. Not gonna do the choose an animation one unless this was about, oh, this was about those. This I do like. I think I can combine it. If I could, I might also just keep it separate. So let's go ahead and paste that over here. Choose an animation. We want this to be the low. I don't remember if this is used anywhere else. So we'll make it local. Nope, never mind. I'm sorry? Why is this not? No. Bed. Set. Wait. Compared with 0, less than, we would be running, but it would be in the opposite direction. That's what that is. Need that to be that. Need that to be a regular variable as well. Now I remember why my list got so goddamn long. Various other things that are checking on one another. I'm going to rename this to choose anim state. want to get the animation control that I had over here. Bump that over. Not up there. Come on, brain. Remember where things are. Yeah. Confirm do nothing. Or, nope, just do nothing. I will correctly swap that out now. Let me undo. Let me grab the correct thing first, because my memory is currently wanting to fight against me. Because I'm slightly distracted. Wrong. That is a copy of what we are currently in. Choose anim state. Thank you. Plug that in there. Plug that in there. Plug that in there. So if I need to change something in regards to not swapping back to an animation when I'm not in combat, it would happen here. But typically, when I look, my variables are being set to still in combat, which means it's not something that's happening here. Everything in here, the only thing that gets set is, you know, at the end of this, it just does a quick check to see if we're actually actively still not attacking. It's just a little contingency at the end there. But it doesn't ever really get called. So, or at least ideally, it shouldn't get called. We haven't set up anything else here. We have these. Was there anything that I had changed up here? Moving right should be checked as its initial state, because that's where my sprite initially starts facing. What else did we have? I'm not looking at the anim to play or any of your default stuff. I'm looking at... Okay, there's nothing else there. Where is the event graph here? I might grab this debug string real quick. That's a good one for me to keep in the other controller, and honestly, just in general, it's nice to have. This is in the ground trace, that's not what I want. There we go. Debug string assembly. Correct. And that is probably the one variable we will kind of need. Convert something else. Current attack type is up there, so technically we don't need that if I'm not going to be checking for the boost specifically. Let me remove that pin. And that one too. So we removed the attacking bool off of there, primarily because we already kind of have something like that. Alright, now what is available in the actual event graph that I can use? This? Sure. And this. Just basically these two things to tack on there. There. I'm okay with keeping that. Along with the other things that we had. There shouldn't be anything else. The ground trace. Animation control. Grab this. of that. Don't need that. Or that. We do want that. Dump it down here. And this is a good basis of starting. It's the animation control. Yeah, and then it uses the choose anim state. Alright, cool. Currently, event tick, I only want to have the debug string. Our ground trace should be fine. Okay, yeah. I do need to have these plugged in, actually, in order to move at all. Once I have the base movement functionality and everything on there again, I'll update. The ground trace is meant for not just our jump animation states, but it's also, hey, what do you plan to get more views this way of videos? Can you rephrase the sentence? It's a little difficult to understand the way it's currently structured. And Omar, Kanye West got a hold of 14 states in terms of votes. Jesus Christ, was he actually... I didn't even remember seeing him on the goddamn ballots anymore. I just turned my ballots in like last week too. I didn't remember even seeing him. Anyone that called Kamala's qualifications into question but voted for Donald Trump or Kanye West, you need to examine yourself. Really need to examine. I know, because I'm getting kind of a bit of a play-by-play from my friend that things are not going well in the polls for justice today. We'll see where things end up. So currently, this should just give us our intended base functionality for movement, so long as we're not attacking, and we won't be attacking currently. Idle is the current default, current default, current default there. Nothing else is saying that it needs any references. Okay. Let's try setting this to the simplified controller. Idle, not attacking, dead, false. Alright, cool. All that definitely was feeding out correctly. Now, there was something that was a bit of a problem, and that was that I couldn't actually move. I didn't actually copy the movement controls or anything because I'm a derp. So we put jump over here, and we get movement over here. I'll just dump the movement up over here. Nice. What's missing? Ah, yes, attacking. Right, about that. We want to change that from this to current attack type. If the current attack type is not equal to not attacking, that means we're attacking, which is the same as this. So if I plug that in, its logic should remain the same. If we're binding that to, you know, attacking. So, okay. I have my running, jumping, our states are changing accordingly. All right, cool. Let me toss myself in front of an enemy. Come here, big boy. All right, the hit animation's going through. It knows I'm dead, but it didn't play the death animation. Interesting. What's different? Oh, wait, I might know what's different. I might know what's different. So this technically should be calling out to our controller. Right? Disable input, player controller, and it should... Oh, it's getting a different type... okay. I see, there's also this over here. I'm gonna disable this for now. I'll leave it there, available and open, because this is in my main character right now. How do I plan on getting more views through educational videos like this? I'm not doing this for views. I don't care about the view count. I don't care about a sub count. I'm just doing it. If it helps someone, it helps someone. That's all it is. That's what I'm here for, because apparently the rest of the country is losing its common sense, so I'm just here to be common sense for people. Kind of have this as a catalog of my journey through stuff. Bad cast note. Aha! That shouldn't even exist here anymore. That's what that's telling me. Also that. Get rid of that. In fact, most of this. Get rid of almost all of that. We'll bring this back up. This was actually a part of that. But I don't think anything else here was telling it to use my actual control. So, admin, the main reason that I got into streaming a long time ago now, because I started when I was in Korea. Actually, no, I started a little bit before Korea, I think. Either way, I started because I realized that I was a complete shut-in, even though I was surrounded with people that had more in common with me than I would have realized if I had, you know, taken the chance to get to know them, besides, like, the one or two people I did get to know. So, I decided to try and use streaming as a way to relearn how to socialize with people in a way that I am more comfortable, because I don't like being physically around too many people. I start getting on edge. I can't predict what a bunch of people would possibly do and or amount to, and so that measure of instability coming from lack of being able to control a potential situation sets me on edge. It's why I don't like flying. It's why I don't like going on boats. I just don't like not being able to take control of the situation myself if I absolutely need to for my survival. So I tend to be a little defensive, aggressive. I come off a particular way to people, even though I don't really intend to, like, I'm not actively being aggressive. Like, aggression for me is very, very different than me just speaking passionately about something. Um, but if you had tried to like approach me and talk to me about stuff, say 6 years ago, I wouldn't be anywhere near as talkative about anything. My personal life is my personal life. I wouldn't talk about shit. I would just talk about the games, and I would keep things about the games that I was playing, and that was it. It was very strict, rigid, and not very open to extra types of communication. Although some people did like that type of content, I eventually just kind of faded into the background, and it wasn't helping me the way that I wanted it to. So just over the years, I've built up slowly, little by little, with the few people that do stop in and become regulars on the channel, even if they eventually wind up leaving and coming back, or they ultimately leave permanently. Because I've had, I used to have up to like 15 people that would show up regularly when I was on Twitch. And once upon a time, that was even in the 20s. I saw that number get to the 90s once from a couple of raids. It was cool. You know, things that I remember that stuck out in my head. But I was never able to talk to that many people. That was a little overwhelming. And even if this channel does get big, I'd have to put like slow mode on and all that other stuff to make sure that I can properly go through and communicate with people. I don't like rushing through that kind of stuff. Yeah, I wouldn't have known what to say in most cases. Now I have way too much that I can say without ever having anyone prompt me to say anything. But that kind of came with the territory of talking to fill the space of emptiness, the empty quiet that happens when there is no one here, when I don't have anyone like you to talk to in the chat, when I'm not playing a video game that I have active interaction with, or anything like that. The way that I would fill that time is just by talking. Whether it was talking about theories about the game I was playing, talking about my actions, describing the things that I was hearing, seeing, thinking. I just learned to kind of free flow. I need to figure out why this didn't trigger death, because it needs to. Could have been that. No. Maybe? No. I don't think so. Leave it be. If it's hit or dead, that should be fine. Move that pin. That was also for attacking, but I think we're good there. Because we don't have attacking yet. Hit me. Hit me more. Hit animation's good, snappy, and quick, and then I hit dead, but it's not playing the animation. Let's take a look at why that is possibly the case. We're going to hit pause here, so that way we can attach this, and I want to see what happens when we hit this. Let's go back to play. Hey, there's a zombie in the foreground. Oh, wait, I can't break the barrel. I can't attack. Hit me. So it should automatically stop and jump us out to the breakpoint we made. Alright. Now we're going to hit the step into. Take a look-see. And it is disabling input. It did grab the simplified controller. It's set looping on the flipbook to false. And it set the flipbook there. and then play from start. Let me see what this thinks it should be playing from the start, though. So it doesn't seem to be playing the right thing. I'm not sure if it'll show it to show me the actual attached thing here. Yeah, it's not. Okay. So here we have a little dilemma where it says, yes, dead. Dead has happened. But it's not playing my animation. And this becomes a problem for me. Cell phone, where did you go? You're right there. Lights shining in my eyes, I cannot tell. Why isn't it swapping over? I think I'll add to our debug string. Gonna add 2 more pins, one as a spacer. And this one will be flipbook. Come on, just give me the flipbook itself. The component flipbook. Thank you. And we're going to I guess I'll say to string and see what it's going to print out. Yeah, it's just going to say what the flipbook is. Unfortunate. So in the actual player and control and the flipbook, what are you called? You're the sprite, the source flipbook. So see, and then if I try and say source, it's not going to give me anything there, huh? Utilities, doubt it. Variables, information, no. Sprite, get sprite, no, not what I needed. Get replication, nope. Forms, no. Paste here, no. Uh-oh. More message, this one's from Mother. Okay, it's just a meme from Mother. That's okay. That means she's fine. Material parameters. Nope, nope, nope. Why won't you let me find what my effing flipbook is? Huh. This is a conundrum and it's an annoying one. Well, I know that my animation state says that it's still set to idle, so for chance Let me take a look-see at the die and destroy over here. Simplified controller. Let's take a look at our animation states. Let's take a look at our animation control. Let's see, player and control, hit. If you're not hit, yeah, that's fine. We should also do a check if we're not dead. So if we're not attacking and we're not dead, that's going to be the check. Do I have dead as one of the things here? I don't have a dead variable yet. Dead. There you go. Get dead. Let's see. Let's do a not. Do an and. Plug that in there. That one in there. And this ultimately right there. What this does for us is it lets us basically, hopefully, circumvent this overriding the fancy death animation. Because I think that's what's happening. I'm also going to change our health just for this. Where is our defaults? There we go. Max HP, set that to 3, just like the enemies. We're going to be real squishy. Oh, 3, just like concurrent viewers. Hooray, welcome. 1. You're still not registering that you need to keep hitting me, right? No, there it goes. It still says that we're set to idle. Okay. So, where are my animation states? Where do I have you defined? So death is one of the states that I have available there. In fact, I have the attack animations on there too. I'm gonna close out my regular controller so I don't mess it up. I think I can toggle that off. I know that it actually hits the event. It's just not doing exactly what I want it to. So, why don't I do this? I'm going to set dead here, and then I'm going to do cast to, what, simplified? As the simplified controller, we go ahead and set dead. And also set current animation state to dead. Death. Kind of feel like all that should actually be on the death logic itself, but we'll see. Set dead. Now please, die with grace. Okay. That's a start. It was fast. I was just kind of on the floor. Yeah. We'll let the arrows do it. Ugh. Ugh. I'm gone. Okay. So now I need to find out what's happening when it does it. Something's up. Simplified controller. Yeah, I mean, I have an animation set there. That's crazy. Because then it set it to... Okay. Okay. Point simple. It technically shouldn't work because it should only go up here if we're not dead. What's this? Just chain-o branches. Everyone loves a good chain-o branches. If-else statements. That's how you make a video game, right? For now, it's just to get things functioning. So if not dead, we go there. If we are dead, then... kind of want to do this. Setting that to false. Getting rid of that comment because it's not really relevant anymore to what's going on in this function. Oh, I probably should have done the thing first. We want this, 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 and... yeah, that was it. Take the false, plug that in there, and... there we go. Not looping. False. Do once. The controller should just stop working essentially at that point. But it should still give me my animation. One, two, three. There we go. I can't move. Death is the current animation, and dead is true. There we go. We finally got the absolute basics of the real world. You can run around, and death is inevitable. Now we can look into triggering combat. When am I going to play Rise of the Ronin? I've got quite the list that I'm going to have to catch up on between semesters, and then when I've finally seen the end of my current life frustrations, and by that I mean after next summer, I'll have a better idea of what my whole life is going to look like, because right before next summer, at the end of next spring, I complete my degree. My lease here will be up again shortly thereafter, and I have had a pre-approved loan for a home through the VA for over a year now, and I've still been looking for a place that would actually be a home and not, you know, an apartment attached to someone else's stuff. So, all that kind of comes to a head next summer. It's a huge stress point for me. But no matter what happens after that point, I will know what to do, you know? So I'll be able to tell you exactly how many regular gaming streams I'll be able to do, how many I'm going to need to commit to just focusing on trying to get my projects, personal projects, actually at that point, they're not even called personal projects. I would be working on games to release. So I'll need to find a balance for that. As for games that are currently on the list, I have to finish the Resident Evil series, of which we are starting up Resident Evil 4 the next time we load up a game for like a series play. And right after that is the Silent Hill series. So if Rise of the Ronin isn't too long of a game, then I might be able to work that in between some of the Resident Evil gameplays and or Silent Hill gameplays. Possibly. No promises, though. Make sure you drop any suggestions into the Discord so that way I can be sure to follow it. And by that I mean be able to check there and know when I want to pick something new. I'll see those there. So in our simplified controller here, we even have this that handles swapping our animations for combat. Interesting. That might be doubling down, actually, because this came from my current live controller, so if this is there, that means that I'm also doing the same thing when I choose to prep any of my attacks as well. So I may have found one of the redundancies that wasn't doing good that I wanted it to do. Technically, this is currently another one that I don't need. So let's deselect these and kind of chop that off, lump it off over there. I can move this back over. So now for picking when attack happens. That should be easy enough. Nope, that's enhanced action value. Wrong one. So here's our enhanced action events. We want attack. We want to know when it has been started. First thing, branch, are we currently not equal to not attacking? So the reason we want to check if we're not equal to not attacking is to know if we need to go, let's see, if this is false, that means we're not attacking. That means we want to do attack 1. So this would be set current attack type, attack part 1. And if this is true, then that means that we're already attacking, and we need to next check if we're in the attack, in the chain window. So current attack stage, we'll grab that. Check if it is equal to the attack, not the attack, the chain window. And if we are in the chain window, then we can go ahead and go to chaining. I might make a separate function for starting up a chain attack here, but I just wanted to make sure I had this distinction going here. So if we set this to attack type part 1, what's going to happen is our animation control is going to pick up that we are no longer set to not attacking, and it'll jump down here. It'll check if we've been hit. If we're not hit, then it's going to set our looping to false, and it's going to set our flipbook to the appropriate paper flipbook. I haven't given it any information as to generating an attack box or anything. We just want to see if this happens. And I think, let's see. If current attack type is not equal to not attacking, then where's the player in control? Flipbook length in frames or just length? Let's just go with length for right now. Get playback position. Let's do a nearly equal float. I'm going to do a tolerance of 0.1. So what this is basically saying is that if our flipbook length, if our current playback position for our flipbook is like within a hair's distance of being done with the flipbook, then we do something. So this is the first check. Next is branch. Not attacking. We're going to check and see playback position. That's right, if I'm not at those yet. We'll see. We'll see how it behaves. Once we're at that point, let's go ahead and set current attack type back to not attacking. And I want to attach this. We're going to do the sequence here. So the first part of the sequence will go through all these things. The second part is going to run specifically check for when it needs to turn off the attack. Oh, it didn't set us back to looping. And now I'm frozen in part of the attack animation. Okay. Interesting. I want to see what happens each time we call this. Not specifically that, actually. put a breakpoint there for not attacking, and we'll put one here. Okay. Yes, set to part 1. Good. Okay, not attacking. Good. Still not looping. Go to attack. And hello? What happened? Where did my player go? What? Oh, is it? Okay, got it. Okay. So it went back to attack part 1, but our animation state is giving a feedback saying that it's idle. Interesting. I'll be right back. My mic was still off. I'm back. Okay. We have still only the basic functionalities. What was I looking at? Attacks. What was the idea that I had? Right. There's nothing stopping me from trying to do event dispatchers here. So let me try one here. Let's see. On attack type change. Yahaha. Open this graph. What? Begin to compile. Oh, you're gonna be a... Right. That's not a thing that I opened there. That and that. Okay. What was it doing that I was annoyed about? Oh, it was during the attack that it was getting stuck, and we're about to try and take care of something for that. Come on, brain, keep up with me. Part of the soundtrack when I left sounded like Illuminati TikTok music. Yeah, it's probably that that kind of like, I don't know how to describe it, or I kind of do, but not in many different variety of words. Kind of like that tinkling sound in the back, like someone just kind of lightly tapping on crystal glass. They like to use that somewhat in conspiracy tracks whenever they're trying to build up to something. It's supposed to be like a whimsical sound. Appeals to the curious nature in the listener, so to speak, if you want to go by sound theory or anything like that. So the thing that I was going to do, right, the dispatcher, we're going to go here and drag it out, create and bind event, and we can leave the name of the event just fine. I'm going to disconnect that. This is also just another experimental controller because I do still have my functional one, quote unquote. I will continue to say quote unquote because as long as my enemies can smack the actual control out of my character, it's not a functional controller for me. That's too big of a bug. That's just wild. So we'll leave that like that for now. Leave this like that for now. On event. Oh, on attack. On attack type change. Line on attack type change. Call on attack type change. That's what I want to do. So attack type change. What do we want to do when this happens? I would like switch on attack type. So I'm always going to wind up using a switch when I'm running with enums. It's just a little bit easier and very efficient to use with enums that way. At least when you don't have too many to worry about. These things can get excessive. At a certain point, you need to just ditch this and move on to like an actual graph. So what happens when we change over to the attack part 1? I want it to play that attack animation, which it should do on its own. Wait a minute. Can I add any inputs to you? No, you won't let me. Okay. Darn. I was curious. Can't add any there, can I? No. Darn. I was just checking. It's weird that I can't do it for a custom event, but I assume that's the nature of using the delegate. We set that, we set that. this automatically starts going. I'm wondering if I should, in fact, leave this, like this bottom part here, to itself. Let's try. Shouldn't hurt nothing. If I attach that separately there, if we're not hit, then we jump to this. Ah, current attack type. There you go. That plugs into everything else. Okay. So then let me chop cannon. Ah, I see. Seems I forgot about you. I was about to say, oh crap, I forgot what was plugged in here. Nothing was plugged in here. This is the death animation. That does not get undone. I think I can scoot these over now. It's convoluted enough. Stitch that, and just whoop right in there. So long as it's not the dead animation. This will technically set any of those other animations too. To be completely honest. No! I don't want to leave those empty because then it might just null out my my flip book and not have any animation at all. So we'll leave that as is. But there's a good chance that I might possibly try and trim that down. AKA separate the animation states to non-combat and combat animation states. Either way, this should, again, in theory, work for those parts. Turning that off. Don't want that. Halt on attack type change. Okay, switch over here. Where was new player controller? Where's that damage field? What did we need? We needed that. I needed a damage field location to work off of. The damage start and end frames. Not something I'm currently using. I might be able to just work something out for it. paste this, we can create that variable. And I also need to remember where we set that. I think that may be in the start function. Actually, no, it might not be. Damage field location. Did I manually set that? I think I did. Yeah, I did. Hard-coded in there. 93-1. So I think that's where the 1 went. Yep, it is. This, however, we can fix this. Or try to. So we can do player and control, drag this down here, and get flip book. There you go. And frame. Son of... Those are what I was looking for earlier. Okay. Apparently the paper flipbook still does not count as the paper flipbook component. Okay. I just wanted the frames per second. Thank you. So we're just going to wait this times whatever. Let me not be like that. We divide that. This is supposed to go down here. Set that to a 1 to get the frame rate delay, aka frame time. And if we multiply that by that amount of time is usually about 3 to 4 seconds, so we're just gonna say 3 for 3 frames. Plug that in there, and suddenly these are nullified and not needed. Damage window is reborn. So on attack part 1, delay for... I just went through this trouble, so I'm not going to go too crazy. There you go. Frame rate. Do the same little math. Divide. Here. 1 there. The result is fed in there, and we've given it 1 frame of a delay to get through the windup, essentially. We can probably, honestly, multiply that, drop it on a 2-frame delay instead. And after that 2-frame delay, we will have it damage field. Set current attack type. Nope, attack stage to the chain window. On flipbook on attack flipbook end. Build that. I want that to be called anytime our current flipbook reaches the end of its cycle, whenever we're not attacking. Yes, yes. Basically. If, well, no, the check should be done before this even calls. So once it calls that the attack flipbook has reached its end, we need to set current attack stage. It's not attacking. Current attack type to not attacking. Okay. So this is kind of the cleanup, saying you didn't chain the attack, so it's ending the attack. Everything should take control of itself again thereafter. For attack type 2, we're going to also do a delay, but it's just going to be for 1 frame. And then we'll do the same thing as before. We'll spawn the damage window, and we'll swap over to the chain window and see what happens after that. So let's take a look-see here. I'm not going to touch attack part 3. I just want to see if attack part 1 will generate a damage window, set me into the chain window. Oh. I'm trying to think how I want to approach swapping chain window to either like the chaining state. Let's see. Successful chain attack. Oh, wow. I just randomly highlighted some random other stuff. So on flipbook end, it'll be like terminating the attack chain completely anyway. On successful attack chain, we want it to... Step by step. Unsuccessful chain attack event. We want to first run a sequence. Because I think the first thing I want to do is not stop tracing, but we're going to copy this. Come over here. Do a quick stop of the flipbook, so that way it doesn't reach the end of the flipbook accidentally. We'll stop it where it's at. And then we're going to do the switch on attack type. We'll look for our current attack type. If it's attacking part 1, then we jump to set current attack type 2. I didn't set that up already, did I? No, I didn't. Just like what it would do based on the attack type change. Okay. Call attack type change. Attack part 2, we can say basically this, but setting it to attack part 3. And also have it go up to call on attack type change. So that way it can set that to do the next thing. On attack type change should also... No, never mind, the animations should already be damn near happening. When we call an attack change, does that. Our animation change, however, animation control, combat animation control, we'll look at this, set it to not looping, and set the flipbook based on the correct thing. We're going to check if it's playing. And if it's not, we're going to tell it to play from start. All right. That's going to be a thing specifically because of our Yeah, I don't need that. We're doing that specifically because of this stop. Because we're going to stop the flipbook and then we're going to change our attack type so the rest of the code will pick up after that. It'll swap over via the combat anim controller. And then it's going to realize, oh, this isn't playing, it stopped. Let me play it from the start. And that'll start up the new attack animation. And then we'll call on attack type to do the logic. And then at the end of our flipbook, let's see. Do I want to put this somewhere on tick? Yes, probably. Oh, also we're going to make an initialize command. Initialize event dispatchers. And we're just going to have that run through and plug all of these together. So that way they know that they need to have those events bound. And let's see. If we're in the chain window and we hit this, then we call successful chain attack. And I'll think of something. What was I gonna be checking on my event tick for this? Right, our flipbook's position stuff. That's what I was gonna do. Basically this. I don't know why I copied it as if I was just gonna start duplicating things like this all over the place when I could just drag it over. Okay. First things first, check if we're not attacking. Yes, sir. And then we check to see if that is nearly done. And if it is, then we do final branch of if. Wait, where's chaining? I did not actually set chaining, did I? Let me do that real quick. Set current attack stage to be chaining. A little interim state I made. So that way we can kind of control things. Right. So basically this is going to be the last check here, and it's going to say if we're not chaining, what's it, enum? Chaining. If we're chaining, then things are fine, we're not doing anything, but if that's false, then we want to do on back flipbook end. So we can end the attack chain. Let me do it at the full screen one. Let's see what happens. Oh no! I'm forever looping! And it says not attacking, too. So I completed the attack command, and then it just kind of... I realized I never told it when to initialize those. Initialize event dispatchers. That's probably why that happened. It had no idea what to do anymore, because it didn't understand the messaging system I was telling it to use. Yeah, there we go. Uh-oh. Yeah, we have the issue again where we're not going back to our looping state when we're coming back to non-combative animations. Oh, and looks like attack part 3. Oh, we don't have anything to tell it what to do after part 3. I need to be careful and only do attacks part 1 and 2. They're pretty snappy, they're pretty responsive. Alright. Let's take a look at the logic for going back here. If we're not hit, we're not attacking, we're not dead, I think looping should be one of the first things that we re-enable then. This is having a hard time remembering that. Put that up here. Yeah. Everything's fine. Everything makes sense. It all makes sense. In some light, I'm sure. Interesting. Yep, okay. I'm gonna be careful with that. So, setting looping, there is not the best choice. It is better to set it afterwards, but for some reason, it doesn't seem to actually be setting it. We're getting our animation back to idle, I'm pretty sure. So, I'm going to... Man, it's gonna annoy me to have this one. I can make a local here. Oh, I did the wrong thing to make a local. There we go. We'll make a local here and call it... Oh my god, why did my brain just frickin' dump it again? Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Should loop. There we go. We'll compile this, and we will set should loop here to false, and up here we will set it to true. And then here, we will just plug that right in. Huh. We can also technically kind of use this in multiple places as a contingency logic for looping and not looping stuff because of the way that Paper 2D likes to work. Then we can go ahead and take that, plug that right in there. Lovely. Anything else? Let's get rid of that. It's an eyesore. So something I can do is go to the debug string assembly, and down here I can get... which thing? Player and control is looping. There we go. Set this to is looping. Yep, there we go. All right, looping is currently true. We'll attack. It thinks that looping is true, but it is not. And I know it's not. Let's see. What else can I check? Playing. Is playing? Let's see. Is playing. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. There it is. Is playing is false. And now it thinks that looping is false, but is playing is true. Which technically it could actually be that looping is currently false. Yeah, I see it. It goes true, and then for a single frame it becomes false. So it's completing attack part 3, but because we haven't told it to swap away from attack part 3 at the end of it, it just is going to keep on looping it. And by looping it, it's literally just recalling attack 3 over and over. Nice. But that's telling me that stuff is working. For the most part. Oh man, I can't wait to cook a good Spanish dinner. I'm gonna do what I can, because I feel like I'm gonna need to eat myself into a little bit of a coma tonight. Just based off the way things are going. Oh. I'll roll with the punches where possible. So our controller is doing a bit better than our previous one, I think. Show bubble. Put that at a size 24. Set this to a bit of a green. Drop that opacity a little bit. These are actual inputs and movements. So I'm actually going to put these events over there too. The attack chains work! And then everything over here, we can just grab that and scoot it. So this is actually pretty easy choice. On attack type change, attack part 3, the animation plays out. It doesn't pull out any of the damage fields because we haven't told it to, but we can, however, tell it that, nope, there is nothing to do for a successful chain event there. Attack flipbook end. Oh, hey. This technically should have been called and reset this to not attacking. Why did it redo that then? Let me trigger this again. Okay. Now I'm gonna pause that there. I want to see what's happening if this is being called. Aha, it's not. So then where is that check happening? Okay. You want me to set you to 0.1 instead? Is that what you want? Oh, look at that. But now it's not reaching it anymore. Why not? It's even got like an error tolerance zone. Why is it not? Give it a 0.5 then? This is basically time that I'm telling it. There we go, okay. But you still don't want to work for part 3 though. We're set to idle, we're still in a chaining window. Okay. This is the attack function. So we set chaining here. Okay, I see. Current attack stage. Just set that straight up to damage window. And then I'll have to put its special separate logic that I had to copy over. Also, I think I'll change it from the 0.5 that I frustratingly set it to, and move that to perhaps something slightly more reasonable. Where was it? Down here. 0.25. I want to give it a good shot. But I also want my third attack to not loop continuously. So before I even tell it to spawn its damage fields, we need to get it to stop after one play. That's that. Then we... Set current type. There shouldn't be anything else after this, which is why I don't want to tack anything on there, but I also don't want to reset it. Alright, how about a branch? Everyone loves some good control. So with this branch, I'll check if this position, playback position in frames, or you know what, if playback position is equal to playback length, good. Or basically the same exact check that I was already doing elsewhere down here. Yeah, I'm just gonna do this. It's a check here. And if they are close enough to this point, then we're just gonna have that be the on attack flipbook end. And as false, do nothing. I'm not setting interruptibles in here yet. That works. And we're actually moving, like, all right, cool, we're looping again. Attack twice, yeah. Woo! I can see that comment. Yes, I can. I also have my, like, I have YouTube Studio open in a separate browser, and I'm not seeing it telling me anything is, like, wrong. So it's shadow banning them in a way that it's not even getting to me at all for me to moderate it. YouTube's just saying, I don't like what you're saying. That's wild. I can't even have the option to know what you were trying to say. Like, here, let me... I'm actually going to type here, time stamp today. Yeah. Just to give a little of what is, you know, going on behind scenes usually. There's the Discord screen and main screen with a microphone like right here. There's one over here. And that's where I also have a secondary version of y'all, where that's the YouTube version and the recent. That'll be on Discord later. There is a rigging going on today. Honestly, with the numbers that I've been seeing, I believe it. Because with how many people have been flip-flopping away from a certain individual, seeing what the numbers are saying is kind of... I said it at the start of the stream. I'd like to say that I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. But honestly, I'm furious and disappointed. I'm very happy that this is functioning the way I want it to. I'm gonna take this breakpoint out. Yeah, I voted. There's not much more I can do. I tried talking to people. I tried, you know, telling them to educate themselves on certain things, to not take my word for it, to just actually go and learn the truth about certain things instead of believing obvious lies that are fact checkable, which is why the motherfucker doesn't want people fact checking in the middle of his debates, because then he knows that he'll get called out publicly on his lies right then and there. Oh god. Anyway, trying to keep my mind and thoughts off of the extreme frustrations that that's bringing. So we're going to go ahead and drop a comment around this here and say that this is delegates and inputs. I'm going to drop the attack input here. And I need that special info for the... Not special info, it's just measurements for where I want the damage fields to spawn for the first and second parts of the final combo attack. I also could grab these up, or what I need from these, which is just the damage field info. Everything else I've custom remade. That would be looking for the playback position in frames. Not too worried about that. I just want it to grab this and these. And not so much the frame time, I'll work on that. Darn. Realize something else. I gotta copy this. Simplified controller, paste that variable in. You good? You know what you are without needing any assistance here? Nope, you don't know what your values are. Let's... Yeah, I don't trust it. We're gonna copy that and see if it will actually let me paste those values in. Whoops. Undo. Oh no. It's undoing the wrong things. Redo the resize node. Redo the paste variable. Is that the value that you had on there? No, that's not. That's what I thought. 101.55, 70, negative 75. 101.55. Why did you have to change yourself? Why did you have to be different? That's fine. Let's hope that's fine. That looks accurate to what I had to input there. Okay. That. Cool. where should I drop? That tier 3 stuff should be up here, right? Yeah, part 3, damage window. Yeah, we're here. Drop this down a little bit. I'm going to move this up and tuck that there. And we'll drop this down a little bit so that way we can copy over the necessary tidbits, which is everything here. I'm going to drop it out here first. Okay. Reasonable. So, first thing, it will go ahead and drop that. I think I'm going to want to do a delay first. So we'll slip that through. If I remember right, it's supposed to be about a 2-frame delay. So we'll multiply this value that we're getting here. Actually, no, that's a 2-frame delay right there. I'm just going to copy that down. That'll give us a 2-frame delay before spawning that. And frame time can be adjusted for this. Pop that right on there. Get rid of frame time. I'll just bring it up here, actually. We can put these here. We had this do once, but we're not really going to worry about that. How many frames afterwards was it? Darn, that's what I have to remember. Let's go to sprites. We're going to look at the sprites player. I'm still having bad luck with sleeping lately. Is there any recommendations you could give me to sleep better? As someone that used to only get approximately 3 to 5 hours of sleep a night, and I have happily upgraded to between 6 to 9. Nice. The things that helped me were setting specific times where I was basically allowed to be in bed. So I trained my brain to associate laying down and laying down in bed specifically to mean it's time for me to wind down and go to bed. So I don't lay down at all throughout the day unless I'm either going to lay down for a nap or I'm going to sleep at the end of my day. And whenever I am laying down to go to sleep, I make sure that my cell phone is not within arm's reach, that the volumes on it are basically all turned off, or it has like a lot of cell phones have like focus modes now, so you can set a sleep focus on it and it will basically understand that for a certain duration of time, basically your sleep amount of time, you tell it when to automatically turn on and automatically turn off, and it will start holding your notifications, and it'll only let certain calls through for emergencies and stuff like that, and it'll prevent your phone from going off in the middle of the night while you're trying to sleep and pulling you out of your sleep. Also, not having your phone within arm's reach keeps you from wanting to grab it and browse it because you're bored and want to, just look at stuff on your phone. But while you're trying to sleep and you're having all this light blasted into your eyes and engaging your brain, you're not going to have a good time trying to get to sleep. So those two things, those are the two simple things that I could do without having to go out and get fancy stuff or anything like that. It was just habitual changes that I needed to enforce in myself. The first one being, don't lay down in bed unless I am trying to sleep. Because I used to love laying down for anything. Browsing on my phone, handheld games. I would actually play handheld games more because I liked laying down on my bed while I did it. But then that also meant that whenever I was trying to go to bed, I would be playing games in bed because I was just used to playing games in bed. So once I forced myself to stop doing anything but sleeping in bed, I'm not doing anything but sleeping in bed. And then it's just easier that way. And keeping your phone out of arm's reach means that when your alarms go off in the morning or whenever it is they go off, you can't just reach out and snooze your phone. So put your phone like across the room or something. Just make sure that you'll still be able to hear it when your alarm goes off, but put it across the room, somewhere that you have to get up and actively move your body out of bed to get your phone and stop the annoying noise it's making. That is going to be the better choice for those of us heavy sleepers that have trouble getting up and or just bad luck with sleep in general. Oh, we only have 10 minutes left to stream. There's a lot of chit chat today. Well, I was just mainly talking a lot to fill in, to answer questions, but even though there weren't that many questions and there was a lot of chatting from me, it still felt very engaging, at least on my part. For me. I should also clarify. I needed to know the duration of that animation. Damn, girl! That was the wrong animation. Special. Okay. Now let me turn off looping, go back to the beginning. And we want to wait that 2 frames to get that first hit. And then we wait 1, 2, 3. Yep, 3. So we'll just do a delay of 3. Not in the new controller. Woo. Do delay instead of do once. We'll do the delay for this multiplied by 3. And once we've done that delay, we can spawn the new damage field. And even plug this value in there and get rid of this. Because it's the same value. Same value that it wants, at least. There you go. This little select node is what's telling my character whether to spawn things in front of me or behind me. And I'm having it based off of whether the variable for is moving right is set or not. The rest is just telemetry data for where the character is, where I'm telling it to spawn at, based off of certain factors. And then the last thing we do here, this lovely little node right here, is set lifespan. The Unity equivalent of that is doing destroy this game object, but also putting a little comma there, and also telling it when to destroy. It's exactly what this is. You set a lifespan for an actor, and at the end of that lifespan, it'll take care of itself, so to speak. So let's see if our... It looks like it works. Oh yeah, I still have to tell it not to do an attack when we're in the air, to instead swap it for an air attack. The second attack doesn't seem to be spawning the damage field properly. Huh. Let me see. I want to go ahead and set a breakpoint right there. We'll hit play here. Yeah. Oh, darn it. It's gonna keep doing that. I'm gonna put myself right around there. Oh my god. No. Okay. Alternate plan. Input. Key. And let's go ahead and grab... what do I want? I think I want the S key. Actually, no. Never mind. Not the S key. What the hell's wrong with me? I'm stupid. K. We're going to grab the K key, and when it's pressed, we're going to... Let's look at our time functions, please. Not that, not that, not that. What? Okay. It's not going to give me the same functionality that I... Oh, wait. Global time dilation. Let's see if that works. Doesn't look like it. In order for me to frickin' test this out, I'm gonna have to... Instead... separate these. That, we'll do a copy of you over here. Have you plug in there. 2 separate damage fields. How's that? But you both go to the proper chain window. Okay, so you are actively spawning the other one, right? I think it may just not have been detecting, or the enemies might have a little bit of invulnerability. Maybe I need to set their iframes, if they have them, down a little bit. I'll troubleshoot that, but in the meantime, I think I can say that I successfully swapped over my more complicated, bigger controller to a more simplified and refined version that's using an event delegate system to smooth the rough edges that the other one had. Not bad, I say. Took us a minute. And by a minute, I mean almost 4 hours, but hey, it's something. So we're going to go ahead and go to our end scene here, and I'm going to wish you all a very good evening and a safe evening, because, well, no matter what happens in elections tonight, it's gonna get crazy for, like, the rest of the year. And then depending on the results of that, for the next 4 years, at least. So, with all that said and done, ladies and gentlemen, I want to give thanks to those that participated in the chat today, including but not limited to Abman and Omar. Thank y'all for being here. I appreciate y'all so much. Please, stay safe and frosty.